Hey guys, I'm Millie. I'm from Córdoba, Argentina, and I've been supporting Sunderland since 2014. Sunderland take over everywhere we go.
Hello and welcome to Black Cats Chat, the international fans podcast for Sunderland AFC. My name is Lee Thirkell. I'm from the Bilbao Black Cats, and we're back for season 2. Sunderland AFC is back in the Premier League, and we've got a special episode because England ladies have just won the Euro 2025 on penalties 3-1. I don't know about you, Justin Warner in Toronto, but my favourite players now are Chloe Kelly, Michelle Adjumant, and Hannah Hampton.
Yeah, echo that completely. Good
Uh,
work by the lasses.
It was absolutely fantastic, and they're showing the men how to do it. They dug in and they got what they deserved. So yeah, Justin, how are you, mate? You're in Toronto. How's things?
Very well, hot and sticky, but surviving.
Yeah, what you been up to? Out in the streets protesting against Trump? Or
He's in Scotland at the moment, isn't he? So we're all right here. He's forgotten about us this week.
all right. And Gav, you're in Florida. You're probably selling overpriced houses in Florida or trying to sell them. How are you, mate?
Trying to sell them, they're not moving very fast at the moment though, but I'm good.
Good. Well, I'll tell you what, mate, I'm trying to buy overpriced houses near Bilbao, and that's not going very good either. So, all right. And Sean, you're in New Jersey. Now, Sean, you've been fucking everywhere this summer. You've been to Wembley. You've been to Oasis gigging in, well, I don't know if it was in London or Manchester. And then you went to see Usyk against Dubois, wasn't it, in the boxing? I tell you what, you got some dosh, you lad.
I've seen it. No, my wallet's feeling it a bit now, to be fair.
I bet it is.
Yeah,
I bet.
yeah. I've got to start recruiting and making some money back. So
Somehow all these trips will be down as business expenses as well.
no, well, I've got to somehow get some money back in the account. The missus is doing enough. So yeah.
All right, lads. Well, welcome back to the podcast and good to speak to you again. Justin, we'll start with you then. So, as expected, Job did leave for Borussia Dortmund. I think he leaves with our best wishes. We got a decent fee from him. He got a good move. We haven't wasted any time in replacing him, right? Because we got that Habib Diarra, and he looks, for me, in my opinion, a step up.
Yeah, like you say, it wasn't really a surprise that Job left. It was pretty much as soon as the final whistle went in the playoff final that the rumours started. And yeah, it was just a few days later he was done. But yeah, from what we saw in Portugal from Lafay, Siddiqui and Diarra in midfield, yeah, they look pretty tidy. Less so yesterday, but yeah, hopefully we've at least replaced as well as, if not better than. And I think that should be the aim through this window. Really, is we need to be bringing in players who are obviously better than what we've got, so we're putting pressure on the existing squad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Gav, yeah, it's pretty much the same, isn't it? Like Ross Stewart went, and then we got Isidore, we got Mayenda, Jack Clark went, we got Mundley had a decent season. So Job's went, Job's gone, sorry, and we've got Habib in. So disappointing, but life goes on, right?
I don't know if disappointing is really the word. I mean, we picked him up for what, 5-6 million, sold him for what, 30 odd. I think for 2 years, it's better to make that kind of profit. If we turn like the likes of Diarra and the over and make the same kind of profit, and kind of the way that your Brentfords and your and Brightons do, I'll have no problem as long as we're still in the Premier League.
Yeah. Sean, I know that you weren't the biggest of fans of Job, and I know that you think that we've got a good fee for him after 2 years. So, do you think we've got a better player in Diarra?
Yeah, I mean, listen, time will tell, won't it? I'm happy that we've reacted quick. I think that was always. I didn't think we'd break or then break it again in the same window. I'm really happy. Obviously, Diarra looks a big, powerful boy. He's an international footballer. Listen, it's positive, isn't it? I wouldn't say I wasn't a fan of Joe, but I just thought he was overrated for what I think, for where he was at in his career. So and we had to sell him, and we got a good deal for him. So there you go.
Yep, and we did. And Justin, the other signings we've got then are Reynaldo from Atletico Madrid in the free transfer, Mozambique international, Noah Sadiki for 17 million euros, Shemsdeen Talbi, I hope I pronounced that right, for 20 million euros. He's a right winger. Simon Adingra for 24 million euros from Brighton. He's a left winger. Habib Diarra, who we've talked about, for 31.5, and obviously we signed Enzo Lafy for 23 million as part of the going up to the Premier League deal. So, are you happy with that business, Justin?
Yeah, it'd be hard not to, really. I think we've improved. We've improved in a few spots. I think we've got some players in who can, like I said, challenge the likes of Patrick Roberts for a starting place. So yeah, still I think there's still some work to be done, but like I said, from the central midfield viewpoint, looking good. Adingra can flutter to deceive sometimes. I think he's the fact that he's not played very much recently, I think is probably means he's getting back into the up to speed. Talby for me has been disappointing in pre-season so far. Hasn't really shown very much, but some of the other podcasts when they've had Belgian guests on talking about him, they sort of said don't expect him to be like brilliant from day one. He's gonna need a little bit of time to get up to speed. So yeah, we'll wait and see. But yeah. I think the disappointment at the moment is that we sort of started off like at 100 miles an hour, and geez, I mean we haven't signed anybody for a week and a half now.
Skin chances.
Skin chances.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Not good enough.
it's not good enough. I knew you'd be getting in there soon. But Gav, I mean, out of those signings we've made, apart from Lafy who's already here, who's the one that excites you the most?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I don't know any of them. I haven't watched a lot of international football, so the players that have come in from overseas I haven't really seen. As Justin said, Adingra didn't play much because of the Japanese winger who went to Brighton at the beginning of last season. So it was like everyone's raving about these players who are coming in, and I'm like, all right, that's nice. I don't know who that is. With the exception of Ronaldo, who I knew had seen in Champions League stuff when I'd watched it on the TV here.
All right, Sean, same question for you, mate. Who are you excited about seeing in the Premier League for SAFC?
I mean, so Gav, but I've never really heard of them. But listen, I think Liverpool have signed 5 players, and I haven't heard of 3 of them. So I just think I'm not saying they're going to be bad players. It's probably Adingra. I think he's played in the. He's looked decent from what I've seen of him. So he's the one who I think's probably Premier League ready out of the lot of them, isn't he? So yeah, excited for him.
I'm excited about seeing Reynaldo because Atletico Madrid fans on social media, they were absolutely gutted that he wasn't given a new contract because they say he's their best defender. So I like his personality as well on the social media interviews that he's been doing. I think he'll fit right in. I think he'll be our number 1 left back this season.
But he lost his place for
why has he not played pre-season?
I think because he played that World Club Championship, didn't he? So he got a bit of extra time off, and he came back and he wasn't at the same level.
Okay.
So I think he should be involved. Maybe he's not against Tull on Tuesday, but probably against Betis, perhaps on Saturday. So yeah, we've got those players. Yeah, you mentioned like Talby and Adingra. They haven't really had much, but I don't think, from what I've seen just in our matches that we've played so far, we haven't had a lot of wing play. I don't think.
No, I don't know whether it's been done on purpose, but yes, a lot of it's been down the middle, hasn't it? So yeah, I mean, with all these players, it's going to take them some time to bed into the team and Regis Lebrie's sort of plans and his ethos. I think part of the problem, I mean, like yesterday, was Adingra really wasn't tracking back and helping Huggins out on the left as well. And I think that's obviously something that we would be looking for, particularly in the Premier League. We need everybody to be putting a shift in every game. Talby I'm not even sure he touched that. I remember him touching the ball yesterday, to be honest. But yeah, it may be a facet of the fact that we've got two new wingers who are new to the team and new to the country, and they just need some time to get up to speed. I mean, we've still got another 2 weeks of pre-season to go yet. So,
And obviously, Talby's fighting to get out past Patrick Roberts, which has got to be intimidating in itself.
you would imagine so.
Yeah. Well, you're not a fan of Patrick Roberts, Gav?
I am a big fan of Patrick Roberts.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I can't poke fun at him.
No. I mean, to be honest, in the friendlies that I've seen Patrick Roberts play, apart from the odd one possibly, I think he's the most intelligent footballer we've got. I think he plays passes that some players aren't on the same wavelength, in my opinion.
Let's be honest, the goal we scored for Mayenda in the playoff final, there's not many players would have split those two vendors other than Roberts.
Yep. No, totally agree. Right then. So, Sean, we've had 4 pre-season friendlies. Well, if you count the Gateshead game, but in the end, that was like basically on the 21 team and the Castaways. So we beat Shields 4-0. Isidore Mundo, Lexic Abdullahi got goals. Drew 1-1 with Sevilla. Lafille got a goal. Lost against Sporting Lisbon again. 1-0, but first half was good. I know that you were a bit disappointed, weren't you, Sean, about the second half, that we basically just played a team full of players that with no kind of real structure, and it kind of annoyed you a little bit, didn't it?
Well, I just think there's no point in playing like that. Why are you making 11? I understand it's pre-season, but why are you making 11? There's players that are going to get nowhere near the Premier League, and I'm sorry, you're not putting them in the window, are you? I just wouldn't have done it. I think care players for the season to get minutes in the legs. I thought against Lisbon wasn't really well. I thought the first half, some of them were really good. I think you made 11 changes and you think 8 of them or 9 of them team. I think there was only Dan and Roberts that you go, all right, they've got a chance. The other 9 haven't got a sniff. Why are you playing them? You're just wasting time. Just be honest. Tell them you're out the door. I'm not going to play you. So that's the only gripe, you know.
What's that, Gav?
What's the point of taking them on the training if you're not going to give them some minutes and an opportunity to prove that they might be good enough?
Yeah, true.
Well, just not good enough, are they?
No, well, I mean, you look at like people like Zach Johnson. I mean, has he really got a future? Probably not. Harrison Jones, he's a decent player. He's a good young lad, but is he going to get much game time in the Premier League? Probably not. He's 21 now. I don't know, Justin, what are your thoughts on the way we've kind of managed the minutes of players especially in the Portugal game?
I think it was always going to be the case that we were going to play 45 minutes early on, and we had 2 games in 3 days, wasn't it? Like you said, the Shields game really was just a kickabout. Couldn't really read anything into that. So really, this was more about putting into practice what they'd been doing in training. I think it potentially showed. I mean, to be fair, the teams in the second half of both the games did okay. We didn't really create very much, or we didn't create very much in either game, to be brutally honest. But I think we struggled a little bit in the final third. But I think it showed the potential lack of depth. I mean, like Gavin and Sean was saying, it's sort of there's players there who are really playing for a loan at best. They're really not. They really shouldn't be involved in the Premier League season. So yeah, it's like I said before. I think we're still a few signings away from having our full Premier squad. There's a chance for some of the players to show a case for either sticking in the under-21s or being on the periphery of the full team. But I think the likes of like Milan Alexic, probably Triantis, Abdullahi, they're probably trying to catch people's eyes so they get a decent loan deal for the coming season. They really shouldn't be involved in the first team.
Yeah. So like Gav, like 1-1 against Sevilla, 1-0 against Sporting Lisbon defeat, and 3-0 defeat against Hearts yesterday. Obviously 4 goals against Shield, but that was like a much weaker opposition. Um, are you worried about the top end of the pitch? What
No,
three friendlies and 1 goal? I
I
mean,
mean, let's be honest. The teams we've played, with the exception of Hearts and Shields, are in European competition this season.
mhm.
So we stepped up our opposition. We weren't playing the likes of New Mexico FC and Bob's Best 11. So I'm not too worried about that. I think, especially in that first game, that first half, we look good moving the ball around. I think in the Premier League, we'll sit deeper, we'll hit on the break with the likes of a Drinker and Chalby or Roberts and Mundell when he comes back, breaking fast and getting the ball into Mayenda or to Wilson. So I'm not only overly worried there. My concern is centre halves. I think Ballard is Premier League quality. I don't think there's an issue there. My biggest issue is when you look beyond Ballard, I think maybe unless he has the ability, but he's injury prone. You look at O'Nien, who I love as a character. I just don't rate him as an actual footballer, at least not at a Premier League level. And then you start to really drop off with the likes of Joe Anderson. Sealt has looked reasonably good at centre half this season, this preseason, but again, that's where I'd be addressing right now.
Yeah. Sean, you agree with that? Like the areas of concern, possibly the forward line and the defensive line?
Yeah, I think certainly it's centre back. I know Gav mentioned it, but the fact that O'Nien hasn't really played the ball yet. Is he going to play much? I don't think he is. Ballard's a Premier centre back. Hasn't looked bad, but again, he's untested, isn't he? Ballard was out for the whole of last season. Centre backs desperately, I really do. Big, powerful centre backs. That should be priority for now, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Justin, we've been linked with this. Is it centre back from Bologna? Is he a Colombian lad? I can't remember his name.
John Duran, is it?
No, it's Lukumi or something.
Lucchini or Lukumi or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
John Lukumi, yeah.
And apparently, like his stats are pretty impressive. Like the last 2 seasons in Serie A, most clearances, most tackles, or whatever. So, but apparently there is a lot of interest in him. So hopefully that something could develop there this week. But Justin, same for you. Defense. I mean, the midfield is pretty much covered at the minute for now. But the defense and the forward line, I think we need a better forward, someone who can put the ball in the back of the net. Because I think Mayenda is. While he got us to the Premier League with that equaliser, didn't he? But I think he's a bit naive still, isn't he? I think there was a chance against Sevilla or Sporting Lisbon, and I thought that if he'd a bit wiser on the ball, instead of like going for the snapshot rather than sitting the defender down, bringing it back and then finishing, it would have shown his experience. But I think he's still a bit naive, and I think in the Premier League, I think it might be a season too early for him for a starter to be a starter at least.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think I think the chance you're talking about was in the Sevilla game. It was a really good cross from Huggins, and he tried to take it first time on his right foot, and just sort of shinned it miles over the bar. And yeah, like you say, I mean, he was wide open. He could have taken a touch and brought it onto his left. And yeah, I think Abdullahi is probably in the same place that Mayenda was this time last year. I think he needs to go out on loan and be playing regularly somewhere, probably Championship or very high end League One, to get some experience. But yeah, defense is a concern. I think we have lots of potential cover when people are fit at left back. But we have a lot of players who have a lot of injuries at left back at the moment. And right back, we don't really have a huge amount of cover for Hume, other than like Huggins again, who's just coming back off sort of back-to-back serious injuries. Sealt, I thought, looked good in Portugal, but was pretty poor yesterday. But I think pretty much most of the team was poor yesterday. Hjelde, I don't think is going to play in the Premier League unless he's been injured for like probably half of last season as well. So I think we definitely need probably, I would say, one dedicated centre back and probably another centre back who can play at either right back or left back. I think the thing that was missing for me in the game yesterday against Hearts was just there was a lack of leadership on the pitch, really. And I mean, obviously, we haven't talked about it yet, but I mean, there's the rumours of Granit Xhaka buying into the Sunderland project and being desperate to come here is an interesting one, because I think he would bring that sort of leadership on the field. I mean, that's going to drop Dan Neil even further down the pecking order probably, and you'd wonder which one of Siddiqui or Diarra would drop out as well. Probably Siddiqui, I would guess. But yeah, I think defensively we look like we need an upgrade, and obviously the club's looking at seems to be actively looking at goalkeepers as well. Obviously Patterson's injured at the moment, has been injured all of pre-season pretty much. So we're yet to see how he's dealing with the new goalkeeping coach at Sunderland. But certainly Moore and Blondie are not up to the task. And we really need someone who's going to press Patterson for his place much more than he's getting at the moment.
Yeah. Right. Well, as we're talking about the squad then, Gav, I've got the spreadsheet that I've done very quickly in about 2 minutes. So that's our squad as it stands. We've got keepers Patterson, Moore, and Blondie, and I've called him Blondie because I couldn't be asked to type his whole name out. Would you be happy going with Patterson for number one for the season in the Premier League, Gav?
As long as he doesn't have to pass the ball out of defence. That thing he does where he uses the bottom of his boot and the studs just to knock the ball forward and overhits it every time and putting us in trouble is the worst part of his game for me. I think he led to a number of goals last season that were definitely avoidable. But no, I'd want to see a decent keeper come in. I like Patterson as a shot stopper. I think he has got a good future in the game, but I think he needs more competition than Moore and Blondie.
Yeah, no, and I think Moore and Blondie, as much as they seem really nice guys and good for the dressing room, they're not the type of number two that you want a number three. I mean, ideally, you want Moore as a number three and somebody else as a number two or number one. Sean, are you a fan of Patterson? Would you be happy with him number one for the season?
I do think we need an upgrade on him. You know, I really do. I think a good keeper is what keeps you in the league. And I think we need somebody who, as Gav said, better with his feet, the way the game's played, better who can kick the ball better under pressure. Look, we've got about 5 keepers on the books, haven't we? So we need to get rid of a few, don't we? You know, he'd be a good number 2, but we need an upgrade. It's as simple as that, in my opinion. You know, Let's get one.
Yeah. I'll stay with you, Sean. For the right backs, I mean, Trey Hume, for me, there's no doubt he's going to be our number one right back this season. Niall Huggins has impressed at times, but he had a bit of a mare yesterday, according to my mate Ken, who was at the match. I just don't think a player who's been out for the last 2 seasons, pretty much, in the Championship, is going to be able to just step up and play it in the Premier League. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, it's very, isn't it? The speed of the game and everything, and the players you're up against tricky wingers and stuff. It's going to be hard for him. He needs bedded in, doesn't he? It is good and hard, so we need a replacement there as well. I do agree. Hume's got to be the number one. Do you know what? I think he might even be captain this season. You know, because I cannot see Neil playing as much as what people think. So I think Hume may even be the captain, but we need cover for Hume desperately, because Huggins, you've had 2 serious injuries. You know, you cannot rely on him to be back up, can you? So, no. Yeah.
Yeah, and Justin, obviously, Huggins and Sealed, basically the last 2 seasons, they've played very little because of serious injuries. and now they seem to be fit. They've done all right in the pre-season friendlies, but do you think that they're ready to step up in the Premier League after having two serious injuries and not playing any kind of football in the last two seasons?
Not really. I mean, you'd think they're more likely to go out on loan to get some playing time. I mean, it's the thing you can't. I think we've seen in the past that the step up from an under 21s to the first team is huge, and it's even huger when it's the Premier League. So yeah, I don't think we can keep players like that around, hoping that at some point they may be useful to us and come off the bench and be playing as well as whoever it is they're replacing. Fine as a sort of an injury stopgap maybe, but you wouldn't want to see them playing sort of 5-10 games on a spin in the first team.
Yep. And Gav, moving on to centre backs then. I mean, we've spoke about Ballard before. We've currently got Ballard, 09, Seal, Hjelde, Elise, and Triantis, but I've got them with a star because they can play in different positions. I think like Dan Ballard is like basically written into Sunderland folklore now. He has the keys to the city. 09, yeah, I don't think we really want him as much as we love him and he deserves a chance in the Premier League. I don't think we want him as a starter at least in the Premier League. Hjelde, he's still young, but I don't know.
Let's be honest. If you look at that entire back four,
Yeah.
all right. Left backs I'm comfortable with. I think Serkin is a really good left back when he's fit, but he has injury issues. Hume I have concerns about on his discipline. I think the challenges he puts in would get him booked or sent off in the Premier League. The challenge on who was it? Where he couldn't be bothered to run, so he hacked him down.
Brereton Diaz.
Brereton Diaz. And again, he won the ball. It was a great challenge, but I think he would have got booked for that one in the Premier League. So my concern with Hume is that how many games is he going to miss through
suspension?
Yeah, obviously from turning up on the yellow cards. Out of all the centre backs, there's only Ballard who's possibly Premier League quality. I think we need to bring in 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
and
at least with Alessi, we know Alessi can go over on the left. We know Triantis can go over on the right. So we have a depth of 3 on those if we really need them. Hjelde, I just don't see the fascination with. Sealed for 10-15 minutes at the end of a game, just kind of shore up on a 10-1 none when we're 1-0 up. Works for me. But for the most part, our defense just yells championship.
Yeah, I mean, there's no talk about Chris Mepham coming back, so that seems pretty much dead in the water. And to be honest, I think we need an upgrade on that as well. Sean, one thing that confuses me is Triantis, because the last 2 seasons, I think, or last season at least, he's had like good loan moves, hasn't he, at Hibs? But he's been playing a defensive midfield role, and they've absolutely loved him. But we don't seem to see him in that role. We seem to see him as a centre back. Are you a bit baffled by that?
Yeah, I mean it's funny, isn't it? Because my ender went to Scotland and just couldn't get a look in, and the Hibs fans were slating him, and he couldn't. And he was brilliant last season. And obviously Triantis went up there. They played him in a different position, and I've got my dad knows a lot of people up there because he lives up there, and they love him. The Hibs fans, he's big, he's powerful, he's good on the ball. They're raving, they want him back. So I thought pre-season they would have played him in there. I thought they would have played him along, obviously with Seal and Ballard at the back and Triantis in there, just to have a look at him. Because obviously he's got all the attributes, hasn't he? He's massive, he can tackle. But yeah, I'm a bit shocked that they haven't had a look at him, unless he's looked at him in training, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any harm in having a look at him,
Yeah. Justin, so Luke O'Nien, Aji Elise, and Dennis Serkin will miss the first 3 games of the season. It was confirmed, I think, until after international break. So it looks like we're going to be going with Ronaldo at left back. But do we have to make a decision on Dennis Serkin soon? Because he's in his last year of his contract, if I'm not mistaken. Talks broke down at the end of last year, I think. He's injured. Do we need to make a decision on that before the end of August, whether to cash in or to let him go for free or not?
Chances are, I mean, if you believe in the model in quotes, then yes is the simple answer, because I think both him and Dan Neil are out of contract at the end of the summer, and would walk away for nothing basically. So yeah, I think they either sign a new contract or we've offered them a contract, so presumably we want to keep them to some degree at least. But if they're not signing, then I think it's cut your losses and let them go. And particularly Sirkin. I mean, like Sirkin's been injured more than he's played. It feels like at the moment. I mean, he's had to have like, another surgery after the playoff final. So, like Gav said, I mean, cracking player on his day, but if we can cash in, and there seemed to be some interest from Spurs for a while. I don't know how interested they still are, but yeah, I think if somebody's going to give us a decent offer on him, I would think that we probably cut our losses, and I think with Ronaldo almost certainly going to be the starting left back, he would then just be looking to bring somebody in as cover essentially. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes before the end of the summer window.
Mm-hmm. All right, Gav. Onto the midfield then. We've got Dan Neil, we've got Habib Diarra, Noor Siddiqui, Chris Rigg, who hasn't played yet, but I believe that he's not too far away, a couple of weeks possibly. Enzo Lafi, Alan Brown, Milan Alexic, and Harrison Jones. I'll tell you what, Gav, for me, the midfield three of Diarra, Siddiqui, and Lafi has massive potential from what I've seen in the friendly so far.
Yeah, I'd agree. I just want to jump back real quick on the Sirkin being injured more than he's not. He still managed to play 39 times for us last season. So for a kid who's out injured a lot, he still managed to put a shift in last season. But yeah, look, I think Diarra, Siddiqui, and Lafi are going to be our starting midfield three. I don't see a way that changes unless Xhaka gets done. But depending on whose gossip you listen to online, is either further away or it's about to happen. I've heard some interesting things about Dan Neil from last close season, and I'm not being entirely happy at the club. So I mean, if he goes, he goes. Like no player for me is bigger than the club, so that doesn't bother me. Rigg again, great potential, but is he really gonna get a game every week in the Premier League? Probably not. Maybe an impact sub.
Yeah.
And then Brown, Alexic, and Jones are just going to be seat fillers on the bench.
I tell you what, I mean, I don't mind Alexic. I think he's very raw, and I think his positional sense needs a lot of work on. But I think he's got a lot of pace, and if you bring him on last 15 minutes, he can create something. And he's also shown that he can score a goal. So I wouldn't be quick to rule out Alexic so far. But I mean, Alan Brown, he's 30-year-old now. He was signed on a 2-year contract or 3-year contract from Preston. Let's be honest, I think he'll be gone by the end of the window. Harrison Jones, I tell you what, he's a trier, and I like a trier. I can see him maybe sticking around if he's got a contract for this season. I can see him sticking around and possibly getting some game time on the bench. But Chris Rigg, Sean, massive potential, 18-year-old, but I don't think he's ready to start every game in the Premier League. I think, as Gav said, as an impact sub.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to remember though, when December comes around, there's 3 of them might be leaving anyway for the Cup of Nations.
About 5.
So we're gonna need players in, aren't we? You know, well, they could be, couldn't they? So we're gonna need a squad, aren't we? So we're gonna need Rigg, we're gonna need Dan Neil, and we're gonna need 1 or 2 more. I don't think we're done in midfield. You know, I think we're gonna sign a couple more. I'm quite surprised he hasn't raided some academies yet. I think we've spent good money, but I thought we would have had a few loans in, or maybe got a few academy little, youngsters and stuff. But they haven't done it yet. But yeah, I think they still might. I think they'll get a couple more midfielders because I think they need to. So for that reason.
All right. Well, listen, we've talked about the midfielders. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll talk about the wingers and the forwards. So we'll see you soon.
Hello, I'm Enrico from Italy, and I started following Sunderland in 1990. Away the lads! Away the lads!
Welcome back to part two. Well, it was a short break because basically we had to change link on Zoom because I'm a tight ass and I don't want to pay €20 a month to get premium Zoom. And I also needed to refill my beer. So here we are, we're back. Right, so on to the wingers. So Justin, we've signed Shamsdeen Talbi, highly rated. I think he came from Club Bruges for 23 million. Right winger, he's going to be challenging Patrick Roberts. At the minute, from what you've seen, would you go with Talbi at the start, or would you be happy to stay with Roberts?
To be brutally honest, from what I've seen in pre-season so far, I would see Roberts starting. Obviously, Lebris has started Talbi in every game so far, and I think, as I said earlier, I don't really remember him doing anything at all. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully he can prove us wrong in the next 3 games. But yeah, for me at the moment, it would be Patrick Roberts starting.
Yeah. Gav, I mean, listen, Talbi's what, 20, 21-year-old. I remember when I moved to the Basque Country, Spain, when I was 20-year-old, I didn't know any Spanish. I was like a nervous wreck. Obviously, these guys are getting paid much more money than I was getting paid, but we're all human, so we do need time to adapt, don't we, I think?
No, look, I said this with the young Costa Rican fellow a couple of seasons ago when people were giving him grief. I can't think of his name right now.
Jewison Bennett.
That's it. Like you move to another country where you don't speak the language fluently, it takes time to bed in. I mean, look, I was 24 when I moved out to the US, and it still took me time to get used to the subtle differences between America and the UK. So yeah, look, your personal life's your personal life, and yeah, you would love it if players could just kind of bed in real quickly and be good, but you're gonna get homesick. You're gonna miss mom's cooking. You're gonna miss hanging out with your mates because they're not there anymore. So it's like it's difficult, but I'm sure the 30, 40, 50 grand a week should make it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Did you just say mom's cooking, by the way?
I do.
Fucking hell,
I've been
man.
here for 25 years, Justin.
Yeah, your mom isn't there though, is she? Fucking hell, man.
Sorry, mom's cooking. Is that better?
That's much better.
And you gotta say me before my. Yeah, me mama's cooking.
I was never mom.
No, yeah, and I think, listen, like we are human at the end of the day, but obviously, like the price tags that people have and the transfer fees that they have, obviously, some fans just don't have any patience. But I think that having experience of moving to a different country where you don't know the language, don't know the culture, you've got to do everything from scratch, driving license, house, bank accounts. You know what I mean? Like, listen, Sunderland's got a player liaison officer, but I think they only give support up to a certain amount. But I mean, it is difficult. We are human, so I'm excited about Talby because I've heard good things about him, but I think that we've got to be patient with him.
Look, I think in any transfer, and look, let's be honest, most fans who are on the internet don't know shit. I don't care whether you're banging the captain of the England squad and you're giving out England news, you don't know shit. Like the only person who knows who we're going for is is KLD Speakman in the transfer group. The only person who knows about our tactics is the coaches. The only person who knows about the relationships between the players are the players themselves. So listening to the gossip, listening to the tom-toms, if you believe the jungle drums, Mundell hated us, he blocked us on Instagram, he changed his profile, and he buggered off. Well, all it was that he got injured.
Yeah.
And
Which we're going to come on to now, Gav. Mundell, yeah, he's had an injury. I don't know what it was. Was it his hamstring, Sean, that he's done in?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. No, just obviously just to chip in on Talby. Look, we've paid. I don't think we're in a position to pay 20 million or whatever we paid for a kid to put him on the bench. I think the kid will play. I think he'll start. I went to Chile when I was 17 and played football, and I want to get straight in. I just want to jump straight in and play. So he might be the same. He might just say roll your sleeves up and jump in. I understand there's a bit of a difference. He's playing in the best league in the world. I was playing against firemen and stuff, so I understand. But I just don't think we're in a position to pay. We're not in a position to pay big money like that for a player to not play him, in my opinion. I think the reason they've paid a fee for him is to get him straight in. So, yeah.
Yeah, and on to the left wingers then, Justin Mundell. He's going to be out for the foreseeable future at least. An operation never looks good, so you're talking possibly 2-3 months at least. Adingra is our only left winger. We did have the guy from, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Is it Sassuolo in Italy?
So,
Loriente, yeah, that he basically got on a plane. Fabrizio Romano gave it the here we go. And then next thing we know, it's been cancelled because of a breakdown in communication or talks. So we're left with Adingra. Obviously, I think we need another left winger, don't we?
that's how we can play left wing. Apparently, he's right-footed, so he's very much in the Mundell and Jack Clark mold when he plays left wing. So he is able to play there apparently. And Alexic, to be honest, hasn't looked terrible when he's come on and played on the left side of midfield. So I would think, you got to imagine that we have a finite pool of money waiting to spend on transfers. I think there's probably more pressing areas that we need to worry on about than the wing positions at the moment, if I'm honest. Like you say, Mundell probably will be back in the new year, you would think, even if he's a quick healer. And I think it seemed to be his hamstring again. The surgeon that he posted on Instagram thanking is a specialist in hamstring and groin injuries, so it's one or the other. So chances are it's he's going to be done until the new year, and then even then, with that sort of injury, you don't rush people back in the cold of winter. So he might not be available until a little bit later in the year. But I think we do have cover, and if we do bring in a forward, there's the opportunity for potentially Isidore or even Mayenda to play wide as well. So I think we're okay for cover on the wings.
Yeah, so Mundell's had an operation. He's mentioned the surgeon. So what is he, the Dr. Richard Stedman of hamstrings, is he? Because remember, back in the 2000s, everyone got a knee operation from Richard Stedman, didn't he, in the USA?
That's the one.
So yeah, Gav, moving on to the forwards then, Mayenda, Isidore, Abdullahi. Mayenda started most of the game so far. Isidore's had a bit of a knock. Abdullahi got hooked in the second half, was it against Sporting Lisbon? After he played 20-25 minutes, and then Trey Ogunsuyu came on. Do you think we need someone to come in there and be the number 9 to get the goals, or would you be happy to go with Mayenda and Isidore?
Why no? We've got Hemir coming back. No, we need someone. It's not even up for debate, really. Mayenda, Isidore are forward players, not really number 9s who are going to knock in 15, 20 goals for you. And I hate using numbers as positional, but it seems to be the way it's gone these days. Yeah, look, I think Mayenda and Isidore have the opportunity to score 5 to 10 goals each this season, but I don't see that being enough to keep us up.
Yeah, now you mentioned Hemir there. I'm still gutted that I missed that. I missed his best ever goal for Sunderland in the pre-season friendly last year against Eldense. I was having a piss in Portugal, in Spain actually, so it's good about it.
Because didn't he score a screamer against San Antonio?
It was one of the American games, yeah.
Yeah.
Scored against South Shields as well.
Well, it was between Gator, was it? Or South Shields? Yeah, the first year, aye.
Shields, aye.
So there you go, Hemir's back.
Yeah. For not for long. Right then, Sean, I've put these down as no SAFC future. We've got Joe Anderson, Pembele, Bar, Matete, Ekwa, because Ekwa I don't know what the hell's happening with him, because I don't know if some people are saying that he's actually left. Some people are saying that he hasn't left, but he doesn't seem to be any involved in any under 21 games, first team games. I've no idea what's going on there.
Yeah, I'd forgot about Bar, to be fair with you. I don't even think he's travelled, has he? He hasn't been involved since the breeze been in, so he's good enough. He's not a chance. So he's look, to get rid of them. We've got to somehow get them out the door. I thought Joe Anderson, didn't he have a loan move to Shrewsbury last season or something?
The year before.
I think he had a loan move to League One, didn't he? The year before. So it might be an option. We might have to get him out on loan again. But we might have to. But
Well,
them is it?
I think he'll be fine in the new club. But yeah,
I'm just
Gav.
gonna jump in. I think the Ekwah
Go on.
thing is a little bit of a weird one because last year before he went out on loan, Lebris had said that he's got all the talents that he needs to be a top class footballer, but he wasn't happy with his energy and the
Yeah.
running back and kind of when we were playing that high press and coming back. And then we abandoned the high press. And I don't think we'll be doing a high press in the Premier League either.
Mm.
So I think Ekwah might have an opportunity to stake a claim, but
The story was that he's that St Etienne did actually take up the option on him, but they're waiting for some international clearance to come through to be able to announce the signing. So it sounded like he's effectively away, and I think as Lee alluded to, I don't think he's not travelled with the squad. Well, he hasn't travelled with the squad at all. He wasn't in the list that the club announced. So he's very much sitting at home twiddling his thumbs at the moment.
He's on
Yeah.
gardening leave.
Yeah, no, but it is interesting that like Lebris did say that, but also Tony Mowbray said the same thing as well. But anyway, we've got Jay Matete. Obviously, I don't think he's going to have a future. Pembele, I don't think he's got a future. And then you got Zach Johnson, Rusin, and Paveda. Rusin was like a quite expensive signing, wasn't he, Justin? At
Hasn't
the time.
Rusin gone? I thought Rusin had signed for.
no, he was long.
He was loaned to the Croatian
It was
team,
that Croatian team, wasn't it?
and
Yeah.
he played in the match against Gateshead.
Sorry, I'm thinking of Bennett. Bennett
Yeah.
signed for the Ukrainian team, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't think Rusin has any future in English football. Period. To be honest, so yeah, just move on from that one.
Again, but disappointing though, because what was 3.5 million in the championship is like spunked
Yeah.
away. Gav Jan Paveda had injury problems, but according to social media, also had off the field issues as well. Seems that he's been basically discarded for this season. What do you think about that? He had a good season at Sheffield Wednesday, the one before, but it just hasn't worked out here, has it not?
I mean, he's been really good to keep the physio comfy during the week, give him something to do when it's a quiet week. Not that our defenders have given him much of a quiet week, but yeah, look, I was excited when he came in. I thought he'd done well at Sheffield. I thought he had some flashes at Leeds, but yeah, he just hasn't had the opportunity because of injury. And he's literally made of China. I mean, there's going to be some big fullbacks and centre halves going to want to smash him.
Yeah.
I think whenever a Colombian says about off-field problems, I always think there's white powder and gunmen involved. So
and Prozzies as well. Justin, I think you've got to head off soon, so just like drop out whenever you want, mate. Okay, and
All right.
nice to speak to you again, and I'll see you soon.
All right.
Anyway, Sean.
Good seeing you, Justin.
So Granit Xhaka, Sean. So I know that you've been kind of like really keen to get this one over the line, and you sent me a WhatsApp the other day saying you were a bit gutted because there was rumours that we don't want to pay the amount that Leverkusen are after. Ten Hag, aka Phil Mitchell, is it doesn't want to lose him. So why do you want Granit Xhaka in that midfield, and why do you think we should pay the money that they want? Considering that he's 32-year-old.
Well, he is, but I think we need experience in the centre of the pitch. For me, I think the reason they didn't go for Henderson was because they had someone else in mind in that same experience sort of category. I just remember when we came up under Peter Reid, and I think one of his first signings was Stefan Schwartz, and it was a real statement signing. It was an experience signing, and I think that's what we need to guide them young kids through. He's top draw. He'll be a brilliant signing. He wants the deal as well. I think there's something between 10 million between the fees or something. I think, look, just get the money, just get him paid, get it done. I think he's a good player, isn't he? You know, he can play anywhere across the middle, so we need to get that done, in my opinion. I think he'd be the sign of the summer if we get it done. So,
yeah, Gav, 20 million for Granit Xhaka, 32-year-old, good deal or not?
No, too much for a 32-year-old.
Miserable bastard. You'd think it was Frater as money, wouldn't you? It's not coming out of your pocket, Gav.
This from the guy who's been talking about skin chances the last 4 years. Look,
Not coming out of your pocket, son.
He's a cracking player. I don't blame the club for kind of negotiating a fair price. I think the last thing I heard was 12 plus 3 and almost guaranteed, and then 2 additional in positional if we stay up and that stuff. So that would be 15 is as much as I want to put up front, and then I don't mind giving them
Has
another
that been has that been accepted, or do you think that's
No.
no?
Well, Sean, who would you prefer, Jordan Henderson on a free or Xhaka for 20 million? Because obviously we can't get Henderson now.
Gone,
yeah, he's gone now.
Yeah.
Obviously, like hindsight.
Well, obviously, I would have preferred Henderson because he was a Sunderland boy and he started his career there, and it was more of a fairy tale, wasn't it? And he's won more than what Zach has won. But
putting that aside, though, like, in terms of like giving more to the current team, in terms of like offering something, I mean, Henderson's what 35, 36, Zach's 32.
Yeah.
Who's going to give more to the team on the pitch?
Listen, I get what they're like. Obviously, they don't want to be paying 20 million for a 32-year-old. That if he signs a 3-year deal or whatever, they're not going to get no back from him at 35. But I think if he keeps the Premier League, right, which I think he'll go a long way to doing, then he's made it £200 million. So I think to myself, maybe just roll the dice on him. Just roll the dice. You have to, don't you? Because who else you're going to buy with that experience? That if you go for a young English player, they're going to cost you 3, 4, 5 times that, aren't they? So I'd avoid these young English players because they cost too much money. I think he'd be ideal, in my opinion. So let's get it done. And if he wants to
that kind of thing that Bowley did when we went up, where he'll kind of be a common presence on the pitch, kind of the same way that Luke 9 can at times. When things are kind of back to the wall, he can just calm down the younger kids. And let's be honest, like I'm turning 50 this year. 32 is not that old. Like especially in the modern game with sports science and all of the training regimens they go through, 32 is not that old anymore.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right there. I think you're right there, especially with like the fitness plans that they have now, the way they look after themselves, rehabilitation, like advances in medical surgery and all that. I think like people do have prolonged careers. I mean, we just got to look at Craig Gordon, for an example, like 42-year-old, and he's still like number 1 for Hearts. Which like I mentioned for him because obviously like we had played in his testimonial yesterday, but I think 32, you could still get another couple of years out of there. Right, so I'm going to ask you a straight question, Sean Gav, which is basically, do you think Dan Neil will stay or do you think he'll leave?
I think he's off.
Sean?
I think he'll leave.
Yeah. I mean,
the thing is, right, where's he? I've heard no spec, like, obviously last season he's linked with Villa. I heard links with Roma and stuff, right? But I think this season, like, where's he going to go now? I haven't really come in for him, but I just think if, say, we do get Xhaka and with what we've brought in terms of, we've paid big money for Diarra, for Siddiqui, we've got Riggy, we've got Lefay. Is he just going to sit there, 6th choice, 5th choice? Because he ain't going to play much, is he? So, yeah, I think they'll cash in. I think they'll get 10, 15 million for him if they can.
But he's only got 1 year on his contract, though.
Yeah. I think Rangers were linked with him, weren't they, as well? Like,
is that all he's got left, is it?
Yeah. Him and Sirkin are in the last year of the contracts, and I think Rangers were loosely linked, apparently, like earlier this week. There was a post on the Ready to Go message board saying
Rangers ain't got a.
No,
they've got any money. Rangers,
no, not for 10 million.
They couldn't afford it.
But there was a rumor on social media on Ready to Go forum this week, which said that a Champions League team has expressed interest, and people are just kind of saying Rangers.
Money in Nicosia.
Yeah, like something like Karabag or something like that from fucking God knows where,
Cork in Ireland, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But Gav, in my opinion, has kind of changed. I mean, obviously because the times have changed, but nowadays I just think that I'm kind of I think I'm with you at least. That when players get a better offer and a bigger team, they're happy to jump ship like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like super quick. In the past, it wasn't like that. You had a bit more loyalty. Do you know what I mean? So if the club can buy a better player than what they've got, is that fair game?
Yeah, I mean, look, loyalty is a two-way street, both for players and for teams. There have been many teams who've had players, they've run them into the ground and then let them go on a free. There's been players who've jumped ship because someone's batted an eyelid at them. I don't think there's any real loyalty in the game anymore. I look at someone like Dan Neil, who's been happy to plod on at Sunderland. I think he feels disrespected from a contractual point of view. He's been on pennies compared to some of the other lads like Ballard and Jack Clark was, given that he was club captain. And I think he feels as though, you know what, this might be time for me to get paid, to get into a team that's not going to be struggling in the Premier League every year, to get into a team that maybe can give me an England opportunity, although I don't think he's anywhere near that level. But from his point of view, he's got to think that his next move could be the one that kind of sets his life up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sean, thoughts? Is it fair game for basic? I mean, because obviously some fans might be a bit upset that we are buying a lot of players and kind of like just like replacing the ones that got us promoted. But I think we've seen in previous seasons from teams that have gone up that if you do try and keep the same players and show a bit of loyalty, it never works out well.
Well, me uncle's a Forest season ticket holder, and he says, you're doing the right thing. He says, when they come up, they got battered because obviously they signed about 30 players. He said, and everyone was going, oh, Cooper's got to give him a chance, give him a chance. And he went, nah, I'm not doing it. He went, and obviously I understand they got the points deduction and stuff, but they've still done enough to stay in the league. And I think we have to. I think the likes of Thirkell, the likes of Dan Neil and stuff, yeah, look, we've got to look for upgrades. It's a long, hard season. You know, if there's enough thumbs in and we can get better players in, let's do it. You know, there's no loyalty, is there? There isn't. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about what's best for the player, but it's about what's best for the club as well. And our best, we need to stay in the Premier League next season. If that means getting rid of Dan Neil, who is a Sunderland boy, then get rid of him. You know, if there's better players out there, do the deal, you know.
Gav, would you agree with that?
100%, and it kills me to agree with Sean 100%, but or at least agree with Sean's chest because he hasn't got a clue what the camera's for. But yeah, look, I think at every position in the club, no one's role is guaranteed. Like when we started looking at goalkeepers, it was a little bit of a shock because I thought Patterson had done a great job last season. But you see the common sense behind it, and you look at the players we were going in for. I'm a little bit more surprised that we haven't been in for a top class, like a 25, 30 million quid striker. But we've still got, for 3 weeks until the Premier League starts, 5 weeks until the window closes. But there's time to bring somebody in.
Is there any around, though, Gav?
Jamie Vardy.
I don't think there's many good forwards in the. I've said this all along. I think the best two forwards are Isak and Haaland. I think there's hardly any good centre forward. There isn't. There's not many 25 goals a season strikers now. So
No, I think
in any level of the game, really. So
as much as I didn't like him because he was a scummer, you had the likes of Cole, Shearer, Ferdinand. You had Van Nistelrooy, Van Persie, players you would guarantee would bang in 20 goals a season at least. Now you look around and
every team,
the only one, and Haaland.
Yeah, every team had a 20 goal a season. Mm-hmm. Every team used to have a 20 goal a season striker. Even the likes of Stan Collymores and all them, they used to bang in 20 goals. No, it doesn't happen now. So people going, oh, we need a 25. Well, you just have to hope that you can uncover someone from abroad who's going to come in and get 15, 20, like Swansea did. I can't think of the kid's name. I think he's a Spanish kid, actually. You know, when they were in the Premier League and signed that kid?
Michu.
That was the kid.
Yeah.
And he came in and scored 20. And really, that's what we need to find, someone like that who's just who's an unknown, who's just going to come in and get 20 goals, 15, 20 goals.
It's such a hard thing to do. I mean, I think when Man City signed Haaland, it was nailed on he was going to bang in goals. But then
Yeah.
Man U go and spend more, like nearly half as much more on Højlund, and he's done nothing.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, Gav, like our mate Dermot, who's in Madrid from the podcast, he covers like Spanish games in the Copa del Rey, and he told me back in December, January time about a player from Almeria who were in the second division of Spanish football called Luis Suarez. Not that Uruguayan, he's actually Colombian. And he
Mhm.
said like they should look at this guy because he scored a hat trick and do you know what? He's just signed for Sporting Lisbon to be the replacement for Gyökeres. I think for 25 million, I think something like that. So
Yeah,
like,
I think I'd either heard on Sky Sports News or I'd read that Sporting Lisbon had expedited that transfer for Suarez because they knew that they were losing Gyökeres,
yeah,
who I don't think is a Premier League striker. He was a
I,
decent
I,
Championship player. I don't think the Portuguese league is that tough,
I
but we'll
think
see.
I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he'll do well in the Premier League, especially in a big team. In a crap team, he'd struggle, but in a team like Arsenal, I think he'll get chances put on the plate for him. I think he'll score goals like Haaland. I think, yeah.
I don't think he's going to score goals like Haaland. I mean,
No.
I think it's
that kid's a machine.
Yeah.
he'd be shitting a Rondo though. I don't even think he's technically good. Haaland.
But I mean, Roy Keane's pretty much exposed that, hasn't he? When he called him a League Two footballer with his first touch.
I think every team now needs that 20, 30 goal a season striker, and there isn't. Like, you look at the old Saudi shaggers down the road, you know, they're getting very sack. They're desperate for a forward. They've called them forward. So I just think we need a combination of if a Dingra can get 5 or 6 and the whoever's on the right can get 5 or 6 and the forward can get 10. I think it's you need to share the goals out now, don't you? More rely on that sort of Darren Bentley. You 20. It doesn't happen these days. So
Yeah, because I mean, what,
you know?
like Gav, I think Mayenda got what, 10, 11 goals? Isidore 10, 11 goals, and the
In
rest came.
Championship. This is
Yeah,
our 13, mine 10,
yeah,
which is going to equate to 5 or 6.
Yeah.
yeah. Right,
So,
well,
Yeah.
I mean, look, with
And
Lafay,
we're gonna have to do it again.
and all those other midfielders, we might have more goals coming from midfield than we did this season, but it's a lot to ask.
yeah, it is a lot to ask.
It
Right,
is.
well, we'll change topic and we'll turn our attention towards off the pitch, kind of, to the commercial side, which Sean, you're wearing the new away top. It looks like a lovely piece of kit, mate. But as you said before off air, you've only gone and bought the long sleeve for New Jersey, which is like fucking baffling. But
Oh,
anyway,
mate. Yeah, because I'm getting grief. I got nothing but shit off the lads saying, what you doing wearing a long sleeve top? My ma give us a load of shit. I've had no but crap. And then I come to America and it's 110 degrees when I'm here and I'm But see, the thing is, when I went to the UK, when I bought it in Sunderland, it was boiling hot. It was like, it was a really hot, like, summer out there and they've had the air conditioning. So I bought it at the club shop and it was like, well, it's boiling hot, so I couldn't really wear it. Then I've came back here and I can hardly wear it. So I've had a bit of a mare, but listen, it's really nice. The one thing I'm not happy with is the W88 stuck on. Listen, I know I was having a bit of a moan to my wife about it yesterday, and she went, "Look, it's the way jerseys are now." Because obviously I was comparing it to the blue, you know, Gabbiadini top, and she went, "But the Vaux is obviously cushioned on. This is obviously just like a crappy little stitch on, like a you know, if you iron it, it's going to come off." But it's the way all clubs are doing it, aren't they? So, but you can't knock Humble, man. I mean, I like the detail, even the home shirt. They always link something to the city, don't they? And they always try and think a bit more. And I kind of think to myself, when they have actually had to recreate a strip that hasn't went down well, like the blue strip last year, I know Gav liked it. The third top I thought was terrible. And the rest
the one I'm
of the
wearing now,
tops,
fucking hell.
I don't even like it, but the rest of them, they just sort of pie off and redo a retro, don't they? But they do put a bit of detail in, and you can see they've spent a few more quid. And let's be honest, the club have actually got more in, because you can actually still buy them online now. Like, if you remember last season, you'd go online at like 8 o'clock, 8:01, 8:02 when they were released, and they were sold out, and you couldn't again till bloody September. So at least now they've got more stock stuff. So yeah, listen, the training range looks really, really good. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, and Gav, I mean, it is really kind of like refreshing and nice to see that there are massive queues outside the club shop at 8 o'clock in the morning before the shop opens to buy the new shirt, isn't it? That's really nice to see, isn't it?
I don't care. I'm gonna buy
No.
online. But like, no, I'm not gonna queue up for a shirt. It's not never been my thing. But look, the fact that there's interest.
I haven't
in the
got your
Cops again.
size, Gav.
You do? There's a big tent that I wear. Look at him talking.
You can't get a
camera.
6XL at Sunderland.
But no, look, my biggest complaint is the lack of stock. I mean, the only one that I was, because we're turning 50 this year, my mum and dad made the decision they're going to get me the home and the away with my name and 50 on the back. Now, I've never had a name and number on the back of a Sunderland shirt in my life, but I let them do their thing. So I wanted to get the training top that Kevin Phillips was wearing in the promo stuff. Well, that was gone by the time I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, just do pre-order. Like, how hard is it to like, okay, look, we're going to pre-order this stuff. It's available from the 4th of July. It releases on the 31st, and you can pre-order it up until then, and it'll get shipped. It's not like pre-order's a new thing.
Well, I said that to you last season, Gav, when we had a chat, and I said about the away top. I said, I don't understand why it's so, like, all you've got to do is just take everyone's money and say, we're getting a new batch coming in 2 weeks' time, and you'll get it then. Like, people wouldn't have a problem because I don't get why you're effectively forcing people to then go to China and to Turkey and to these dodgy sites. If you could just take everyone's money and say, we've run out of this batch, but there's a new batch coming in 2 weeks, you'd be happy with that, and you would say no problem.
I
You
think
know,
given
so
the
I get what you're saying.
excitement
I think
around
the
the
club
club
needs to
right
start
now,
doing it.
I think given the excitement around the club right now, they've underestimated again. And whether that's Hummel not wanting to be left with a whole load of extra stuff, or it's the club not wanting to have to mark down prices at the end of the season. But yeah, look, the only thing I really wanted to buy for myself was that Kevin Phillips training top, which is as stupid as me buying a long sleeve shirt, given I live in Florida. But no, I even joked on our America chat that I was thinking about moving north so I could wear it.
Yeah, and talking about name and
Did you like it?
numbers,
Do you like that? Do you like that red and white Phillips top? I wasn't a fan of it, to be fair.
I
I
did.
thought it was
Yeah, it looked very nice. Mind you, when you
Do
got
you
a
like it, Lee? Yeah.
when you got a handsome bastard like Kevin Phillips at 50-year-old, like wearing that, man, fucking hell, I'm 40. He looks younger
I was
than
going
me.
to say
You know what I mean?
You've got a fat fuck like me wearing that. Nah, it doesn't look as good as what it does on Super Kev.
Nah.
So, and I dread to think what it would look like on Frater. All that red. Jesus, wept.
Gav, go on, go on, defend yourself.
No, I'm not even gonna.
No, I like the red and white shirt. I do like the red and white shirt, but I don't really like the design on the white stripes of the Keel Crossing Bridge.
But you can't see it. Unless you get up close, you don't see
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I don't know. I'm not a
Just
fan
black
of that.
and white.
No, it's not that. It's not that. But anyway, that Sean, listen, I'm back in the northeast on the 14th, so I'm hoping to get a medium. I'm going to get a medium size shirt.
I bet. Oh, aye.
We'll see
I
about
bet
that.
you were 12 last time you got into a medium.
No, last time I got a medium, I think I had Russell number 11 on the back in 1994, 1995, something like that. So,
Yeah. But nah, just obviously, just what you were saying, like even the city, like I had a walk around like the sheepfolds and that. There's some cracking bars. There's a lot. The whole area just looks completely different. It looks really good. You know, you could see the buzz around the place, and even on the seafront, I went to the seafront and stuff, and it was just people in tops, and it was just a nice, happy place, you know. So I was happy, you know. It was
I think
decent.
that's always been the case with Sunderland. I think the football club's fortunes and the city's fortunes intertwine so closely. The club, the
Yeah.
town always feels so much better when the club's doing well, and it feels shit when we're doing badly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
look, I love the redevelopment like they're doing down the seafront. I love the redevelopment of the sheepfolds. It was just a shame that when Quinn was the owner with Drummondville, that the real estate and industry collapsed and they couldn't really fulfill what they wanted to do on sheepfolds. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's fantastic. It's a great day out. I mean, look, going to the match has always been a great day out.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many places you want to hang out.
Definitely. I think like yeah, the success of the team goes hand in hand with like how people feel in the city. And listen, like for a pre-season friendly Heart in Edinburgh yesterday, like 3,000 fans sell out. Portugal, I think, was over 2,000 fans there as well. Last year in Spain, there was like 3,000. So I think, yeah, we are a passionate fan base, and hopefully we can do well in the Premier League this season and stay up. But anyway, listen, that's it for the first episode of season 2. Gavin, Sean, and Justin, who was here before, thank you very much for coming on. And no doubt I'll be hearing your views throughout the season. How are the lads?
The lads.
How are the lads?
Hello, my name is Nicolas. I'm from Uruguay. I've been supporting Sunderland since 2010. And how are the lads?